Yeah, a number of people have started asking for the recording, and so that seems to be a nice option for some people, but I'm glad that you guys are here in person. So we are going to begin standing. So as we make our way to our mats, you're going to just want to stand, have your weights nearby if you have weights, and I would suggest orienting your mat, rather than the long way, have it kind of the wide way, because I think that'll work out best. So I want us to begin just standing with our feet a really comfortable distance underneath us so that you can feel your weight settling into your feet. So I think a lot of times we think of meditation as an opportunity to be calm and steady. And of course, we can be calm and steady in any moment in our lives. And so whether we're sitting or standing or lying down, it doesn't take long to just recognize our connection to the earth. And so when we're standing, really recognizing the feeling of our feet, rooting down into the soil beneath us. If you're not on the ground floor, just imagine that there's soil underneath your feet. And even as if there's like squishy mud or sand, feel that connection of the ground beneath you. And you might even close your eyes, because sometimes when we close our eyes, it allows us to have a greater sensation of feeling. So we're going to feel our feet on the floor and feel how the weight of the body settles into the feet. And then as you root your feet down, just let your awareness start to move up into the legs, your strong legs. Then let your awareness move to the feeling of your spine, maybe lengthening, elongating a little bit. Think of yourself as standing nice and tall. And rather than stretching your chin up to get taller, maybe think about lifting the upper part of the back of your head up so that you continue to lengthen through your spine and you don't kind of lose that connection within the back of the neck. The back of the neck is long as well. So as you're standing tall, begin to bring your awareness to your breathing. Feel yourself filling up with air. Let the breath be nice and full and deep. And then let's allow the breath to empty out. So we're going to breathe really deeply. We're going to do big, full, expansive inhalations. And then we're going to feel what it feels like when the breath releases and empties. So when we're standing up, we can feel that breath moving into the front, the sides, the back of the ribs and lungs. And then we can feel the breath leaving the body. Let it flow all the way out. And notice the energetic quality of breath. There's a really energetic feeling when we fill up with air. And then there's just a calming sensation when the breath releases. And sometimes we think of positive energy flowing in. And we can let the exhale be a release of the negative, an emptying out, a letting go. So spend some time. Maybe you need to focus on energy in. Maybe you're feeling kind of sluggish this morning. So think about how that in-breath is filling you up with positive energy. Maybe you got a lot of heaviness that you're holding on to, and let your out-breath help you to let some of that negative, unpleasant, worrisome energy release out of your body. Just a couple more rounds of this really full, deep, expansive breathing in and out. Let the breath expand into places of the lungs that don't normally receive the breath. And then let it go. And then after your next full emptying of breath, we'll transition to a more natural breath rhythm. Let's take the arms and just reach them out. So feel how you can create a little more room from shoulder to shoulder, from shoulder blade to shoulder blade. Can you create more space? And as you spread out from the center of your chest to your shoulders, from the center of your back, can you expand even out further out through your fingertips? And now let's lift the arms up. And as the arms go up, slide the ribs and shoulders up. Maybe lift your heart and even extend or back bend just a bit here. And then let the arms open out. Soften your knees. We're going to fold all the way over. So end up in a ragdoll. Arms and head heavy, knees soft. So we're going to take a breath into the upper back now. And with the exhale, we're going to extend the spine. So you could have fingertips on the floor or hands on your shins as you extend the spine. So we're going to inhale into the upper back and round forward into ragdoll. And we're going to exhale and extend the spine. So you can think about the crown of the head extending forward or really moving from the middle of the upper back. A few more times like that. So let the upper back round as you drop down, as you breathe in. And let the upper back extend as you're here. Exhaling. One more time. Breathe and round. And exhale and extend. All right, we're going to inhale into the upper back. And then draw your belly in. We're going to roll up. You can keep your knees soft here. And just see if you can slowly, gradually take your time and stack your vertebrae one on top of the other. Starting to come into a more upright position. And then eventually lifting your head up. Great. All right. We're going to begin to flow. So we're going to make our way to the front of the mat. Again, feeling that grounding through the feet as we stand tall. Let's take the arms out. Inhale and reach up. Just like we did. And then exhale and swan dive forward. We'll bring our hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Push your hands firmly down. Spread the weight out into fingers, knuckles, thumbs. Take your hips way up and back as you breathe in. Let's exhale and bend a knee and push a heel down. And then alternate. One heel and then the other. One knee and then the other. You could shake your head a little bit here. You could move your hips a little bit here. Any organic movement that feels nice for you. Take one more breath here, in and out. And then bring the shoulders over the wrists, come into your forearm or a straight arm plank here. Take a breath here, get nice and long, push the floor away. Start to wake up the muscles in the arms and the shoulders. Notice your alignment. Notice if your hips are up in the air or if you've let your hips drop low, and try and bring your hips right in between your ankles and your shoulders. Take a breath here. And then let's lower the knees and bring the chest all the way down onto the floor. Tops of the feet, hands by the low ribs. Prone mountain, chest sinking low to the ground. Let's inhale up to baby cobra here, pulling the heart forward as the heel of the hands press back. And we'll exhale back down. We're going to do that again. Inhale up to baby cobra. Let's lift the hands up, lift the elbows up and draw the elbows in a bit. Squeeze in. Wake up the muscles of the upper back, and then release the hands, release the chest. This time, we'll inhale up to baby cobra, and then push up a little higher to cobra if we like, and then we'll lower back down. Next, we're gonna push back to knees, take the hips back, and go all the way back to an extended child's pose, so leaving the arms way out in front. So we're going to have some options here. And if you want to cushion your knees here, if you're on a hard surface, you might want to put a blanket or something under your knees because we're going to be going back and forth on the knees. So we're going to come lower down onto belly, and then we're going to push up and back to extended child's pose. So this is going to be one variation. So we're gonna lower down and then push up and push back to child's pose. You're welcome to continue here. The next variation option, once you make your way down, you could push up to knees and then push up to plank and then pull back to down dog. And then come back to plank, and you could drop to knees and lower down, or you could just lower down. So you could be coming to knees and back to child's pose, or you could be coming up to downward facing dog and back to plank and then back down. So choose your option. We'll do a few more of whatever one we're doing. And then the next time you make your way down onto belly, we're gonna just stay there, coming onto the tops of the feet. Let's come on to our forearms now. So we're gonna have elbows beneath shoulders. You might measure fingertip to elbow, elbow to fingertip, and then we're gonna push the forearms down, palms facing, sides of the wrists, sides of the hands push down to lift the chest. We'll curl the toes under now, and we could lift up onto knees in a kneeling forearm plank, or we could lift the knees, coming into a full forearm plank. And as we're here, we might want to get the hips right between the shoulders and the ankles, like we did in a straight arm plank, or you might feel a little more support if your hips are slightly higher. So whatever is better for you. You could drop one knee down at a time to make it a little less of a intense challenge. You could be on two knees, or if you want a greater challenge, you could tap a toe to the side of your mat and bring it back. Tap a toe to the side of your mat and bring it back. Or you could just be holding. So lots of variations. Find something that challenges you. We're going to hold for a bit longer here. You're pushing those forearms down. So you're working in the upper back, in the shoulders, and then the core. Let's just hold for 5, 4, 3, you're doing great, 2, and we'll lower down. As we come down, we'll take the elbows wide and we'll let our head rest on our hands so the shoulders, the neck can relax. I like to shake my hips a little here to release the tension in your back. You can do that if that works for you. All right, let's press our feet down now. If you press the tops of your feet down, you feel the back of the legs fire up. And then we're just gonna lift the legs up, reaching back through the toes. Nice engagement all through the backs of the legs and into the glutes here. And then relax your legs down. Now I want you to bend your knees so your feet face the ceiling. And I want you to push the front of your hips into the floor. Push your pubic bone down. So that's gonna create some length in your low back. And then press the heels up and then relax that. So press the front of your hips down, press your heels up. Can you feel your hamstrings engage? Now extend the legs straight back. You can point your toes as your legs go back and lift them up a bit. And then flex your feet as you bend your knees. The whole time your thighs are lifted. Extend your legs back, point your toes, and then bend your knees. Flex so your flat foot faces the ceiling. One more time. Extend your legs back. You're pressing the front of your hips, your pubic bone down the whole time. Then bend your knees, heels to the ceiling. Great. Let's extend the legs straight back one more time. Maybe lift them a little higher and then lower them down. Nice. Now we're going to hover the head and take the arms out like cactus arms, like goal posts, right? Right angles out to your side. Right now, your chest is close to the floor. You're hovering your nose a little bit off the ground. Nice and long, toes to crown. So with your head low, I want you to just lift your arms up. Lift those bent arms up and start to work in the back of the shoulder by lifting the arms up toward the ceiling and then bring them back down. Let them rest. Do that again. Lift the elbows, the arms, like they're one unit. Your bent arm is one unit, lifting up toward the ceiling and then lowering down. So we could continue just lifting the arms, or lift your arms up and then also lift your chest up. Pull your heart forward and then lower back down. Let's inhale as we lift, pulling the heart forward, arms lifting up. Exhale, lowering down. You could just do the arms. You could do the arms with the chest, or you could also do arms, chest, and legs. Inhale to lift up, and exhale to lower down. Keeping the back of the neck long as we lift up with the inhale and lower down with the exhale. 2 more like this. Working the whole back chain here, working the back of the shoulders. Last one. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Great, bring hands next to chest. Let's push back to knees. Let's go all the way back into child's pose. This time, your arms could be alongside your body, or they could be supporting your head, or they could be anywhere you like. Breathe in and out here. Check in with your breath, with your body. Let your exhale empty and release. Then with our next inhale, we'll lift our heads up. Let's reach the arms out in front. Come onto knees, curl the toes under, and we'll make our way up to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. Looking forward, let's walk our feet up toward our hands and plant our feet beneath us. So we'll have our feet about hip distance apart, maybe slightly closer together. We're going to bend the knees and lower the hips. Bring hands to heart. Keep the hips low. Lift the chest up. So sitting back on the heels, reach your arms forward. Take one arm, sweep it down and behind you. Open and twist. So can you twist your body, keeping your knees parallel, reaching back with that arm, twist your body so it's, sideways to your legs. Then reach that arm down, reach it forward. Take your other arm, sweep it down and behind you. Try to keep your knees parallel as you open and twist to that side. Use the muscles of your trunk and your arms to turn. Take a breath and then sweep that arm down and back in front. Bring your arms up alongside your ears. Push into your feet and legs. Inhale and rise up. Exhale your arms down. Great. Turn towards me. Let's start with a sumo squat. So we're going to take our feet a little wider than our hips, toes turned out, and we're going to just bend at the hips, knees, and ankles. So as your hips go back, let your knees go forward. Hips go back, knees go forward. So you're bending at the ankles and knees, and you're sticking your butt out behind you. Let's just straighten up from there. We'll do that again. Hips go back, knees go forward. As we're here now, we're going to lift the heels a little, and then we're going to do a high heel raise, and then slowly lower, 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 and then almost touch the floor, and then high heel raise. So let's lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, almost touch the floor. Again, high heel raise. One more time like that. Lower for 5, 4, 3, 2. Have your heels almost touching the floor now and straighten your legs. Good. Put your heels down. We're going to do that again. Hips go back as your knees go forward. Lift your heels slightly. Then high heel raise. Then slowly lower. This strengthens the arches of the feet. 5, 4, 3, 2. Heels close to the floor as we straighten the legs. Then we work the inner line of the legs and into the pelvic floor. Drop your heels down. Great. Bring your feet together and let's pick up our weights. And you might, if you have 2 sets of weights, you might start with your heavier weights. And then if you decide to switch to your lighter weights, you could, or vice versa. I'm going to start with my heavier weights. I have 3 and 5 pound weights. Okay, so we're gonna start with our weights here. And we're just gonna sit like we're sitting into a chair, have our feet hip distance apart, and then we're gonna press up. And we're gonna sit, and we're gonna press up. So it's like a squat actually. So have your feet hip distance, maybe your feet are slightly angled out, but we're sitting and we're pressing up. Just a few more like that. And pressing up, and sitting, and pressing up. So now as we sit down, we're gonna stay here, and we're gonna take the arms, and we're gonna press back into tricep extension. So we're pressing back and pulling in. So the elbows stay right where they are, and we just extend the lower arm back and bend in. Extend the lower arm back and bend in. So you should really feel that tricep engage as you extend all the way back. 2 more like that. And bend in, extend back, and bend in. All right, straighten up. Lower your arms. Okay. So now we're going to kind of combine those movements into something else. And to do this, actually set your weights down for a moment. I want you to stand in front of this long line of your mat, because what we're going to do is we're going to step over the long line of the mat. So I want you to just try that to kind of get used to what distance is that. If you step over your mat and then you step back in, do it with your other leg. What distance is it to step back and step in? Because we want to get used to that distance. Try it again. Step back and then step in. And we're going to try and keep the feet hip distance apart. Step over your mat and then step in. Okay, so now try lifting one knee up and then stepping over your mat into a lunge, and then coming back, lifting the knee up and stepping down. Try it on your other leg. So if you need to, you could touch the floor in between and then step over and back into a lunge. You could touch the floor in between, or just go without that mid step. So we're going to try it one more time without the weights. We're going to lift the knee up. We're going to step over the mat into a lunge. We're going to bring the knee up, and we're going to bring that foot down. Try it on the other side. Lift the knee up, step over the mat into a lunge. We're going to lift the knee up and bring the foot down. Okay, now pick up your weights. We're going to kind of add on the arm movements that we did before and add a little bicep curl. So with your arms at your side, we're going to curl. We're going to press up as we lift a knee up. We're going to bring the weights here. We're going to step back into that lunge, and we're going to do that tricep extension, arms pressing back. Then we're going to curl up, press up, and then we're going to lower down. So as the knee comes up, we curl up, we press up. Then we're going to step back over the mat into a lunge, tricep extension. Then we're going to curl up and press up. And then we're going to lower down. We'll do a few more. We'll get the hang of it. Curl up, press up as we lift the knee. We're going to step back, tricep extension, lift. We're going to bring the knee up and press up. And then we're going to lower down. Again, knee up, curl up, press up. Come back, step over the mat, lunge, press back. Bring the knee up, press up, and lower down. We're going to do the whole thing one more time. Press up as you lift the knee, step back, press back, step up, curl up, press up, and lower down. Great. All right. I think this is our second leg. So we're going to step back, press back. We're going to come back and press up and lower down. All right. We're going to start the same way. We're going to press up and we're going to step back into our lunge. Now we're going to stay here for a little bit. So we're in a lunge. Our feet are hip distance apart. We're just gonna do lunges. We're gonna go down and up. And as we're doing that, we're gonna do lateral raises. So as you go down, you lift. As you straighten your legs, you lower. Lift and lower. So make sure your feet are hip distance apart. As you lift your arms, try not to shrug your shoulders up. We're working from the deltoids, not the top of the shoulders. Those upper shoulder muscles in the upper part of your arm. So we're gonna lift and lower a few more times. Lunging. You're doing great. Let's do 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Good work. All right, we're gonna step that foot in, bring your arms up, press up, and come down. We're gonna do the other leg. Bring the knee up, curl up, press up. We're gonna step back over the mat. You can press back into your tricep extension, and then bring your shoulders over your hips. We're gonna start to lunge. So check your stride. If you're a real narrow stance, it's gonna be harder to balance. If your feet are as wide as railroad tracks, you'll do better. And then we're gonna do that lateral raise. Lifting out to the side and lowering. Lifting and lowering. Bending and straightening. So you decide how far down that back knee goes. Some people, the knee gets really close to the floor. Some people not quite as close to the floor. What's right for you? Keep breathing here for 4 and 3 and 2. Good work. All right, all we gotta do is step forward, bring the knee up, press up, and come down. Great job. All right, you can put your weights down. Let's come into a wide stance. And actually, we're gonna use weights for this next one. I'm gonna pick up my lighter weights. So whatever weight you want. My arms are pretty fatigued from that last series. So we're gonna turn the back foot in and turn the front foot out. And bring your elbows by your waist. So your arms are kind of like an angled sort of a W. We're gonna bend the front knee. And as we bend the knee, reach the arms out like a big V. And then as you straighten the leg, pull your elbows into your waist like a W. So we're going out like a big wide V, in like a W. Out and up and in. Somehow I always feel like a cheerleader when I do this move, but it's just another way of accessing the biceps. And I think we're working the triceps a little bit as well here. All right, so let's do 4 more like this. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one like this. Now, bring your elbows in and have your palms to the ceiling. We're just gonna curl up by the shoulders and lower down. Curl up, so more of a traditional bicep curl. Up and lower down, and up and lower down. Just 2 more like this. Up and lower down, and up and down. All right, now we're just gonna tip the hips over, bend the front knee, and bring this bottom arm on the bottom leg. This top arm, I want you to put your elbow by your waist. So your arm is a right angle. Keep your upper arm pinned to your side of your body, your elbow by your waist, and just lift the lower part of the arm toward the ceiling. And then lower it down. So you're kind of lifting against gravity, again, working the back of the shoulder. Those rotators in the back of the shoulder, lift up and lower down. Lift up, keep your elbow by your waist, bring it down. Elbow bends up towards the ceiling, or it's your lower arm. Your lower arm lifts up toward the ceiling, and then it comes in by your waist. 2 more. External rotation, internal rotation. Right, 1 more time like that. Great. All right, let's push into the legs, come up. We'll go to the other side. So we'll turn the right foot in, turn the left foot out. Elbows in by your waist. As we bend the front knee, reach out in a big wide V, and then hug into your waist. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull in. How does this feel? Can you feel your feet on the floor? Can you feel your breath? Are you exhaling as well as inhaling? I mean, you obviously are, but can you consciously do that? Yeah. 2 more like this. We can inhale as we reach out and exhale as we pull in. Now, you're going to come up towards your shoulders and then just lower down. Kind of straight up and straight down. Straight up, straight down. Just a few more like this. So our biceps tend to be pretty strong. So in this angle, you would have to do a lot of these to fatigue the biceps. So we'll do a few more because we use them all the time and we see them. The muscles in the front of the body are stronger. We use them more, we see them, they're just stronger. They just are. All right, let's bend the front knee, tip over, let this bottom arm rest on this leg. So we're gonna hug the upper part of the arm from the shoulder to the elbow alongside the body. And then the lower part of the arm, we're gonna rotate it out and rotate it in. Rotate it up, rotate it down. Rotate it up. And try not to let the movement be coming from the wrist. It's not about cocking the wrist back. The wrist can stay straight. We're just rotating from the elbow. We'll do a few more of these. Out and down. Or up and down. And up and down. And last one. Up and down. Good. Push into the legs. Straighten up. Turn that foot forward. Walk your feet together. Stand center. Nice work. You can put one of your weights down and keep the other one. All right. So we're going to do something that we do fairly often in here because I think it's really helpful at strengthening the muscles of the hips, working to improve our balance. So I want you to balance on one leg and have the weight in the same hand as the leg. And then the other leg, just bend the knee back. So I want you to be holding the top part of the weight, and so the bottom part of the weight is hanging down. We're going to hinge forward, and we're just going to see if we can touch the bell to the floor and then come back up. It's the coming back up part that tends to be the hard part. Change legs, put the weight in your other hand. So bending at the knee, hinge forward, go down, see if you can touch the bell of the weight, and then bring yourself back up. Great. And then change legs. So as we're going to keep doing this, each time as you touch the weight to the floor, put it in a different spot. Maybe put it out to the side instead of right down beneath you. And then come back up. Change legs. Bend the knee. Reach that weight out to a different spot. So you're not going to the same place every time. So maybe you reached out to the side. Maybe this time you reach it a little more forward. It's kind of a little more of a stretch out in front of you. And then coming back up. So by changing the angle, it's going to work different muscles. The work is in different parts of the leg. So we're reaching out in front. This next time, you might try reaching across your body. So let's try that. Reach across and come back up. Try that on the other side. Reach across and come back up. Okay, for this next one, we can work with one weight. Let's try it first with one weight. We'll hold on to this one weight. We're going to take the arms forward, so the arms are straight out. And we're going to start circling the arms. Okay, so when you circle the arms, your whole body could be moving with your arms. But initially, see if you can just move from your shoulders and try not to let the rest of the body be involved. And then make those circles bigger. But again, we're trying to just move from the arms and not involving the rest of the body. Now, I want you to let your body come along. So as your arms are moving, your circles get bigger, your trunk is moving as well. So you're starting to feel work in the muscles of the trunk. So we're going in the same direction still. Circle it around. And then start to make those circles a little smaller. We haven't changed direction yet. And then just take them straight out in front, but let your body be moving with your arms. And then stabilize your body and just move your arms. Oh, I'm glad we're just using one weight. All right, let's take a break. So remember the direction of that circle because we're going to do it the other direction. All right, take your arms forward. So I was circling this way. So now we're going to circle the other way, right? And small circles, trying to just move. Now, if this gets too hard, you can bend your elbows and have the arms a little closer in. So the most challenging is straight arms. So then make your circle a little bigger, but try not to move your body yet. Just moving from your arms. Your trunk is going to stabilize when you do this. So your core is working either way. Now make the circles bigger, but let your body move with you. So it's actually a little easier. You're still working the muscles of your trunk, but they want to move in this direction with your arms. Okay, keep the arm circle big and then start to make it a little smaller. You're still letting your body move with your arms. Make the circle a little smaller and then try to isolate so the core doesn't move, just the arms. Oh boy. And relax. That was a tough one. Okay, you can put the weights down. Step again in front of your mat, really close to the mat. Take a big step back with either foot. Again, into a lunge, feet as wide as hips. Bend down into your lunge. Just do a couple of pulses and find a really steady position for your lunge. Maybe explore if that knee could go a little lower. Okay, reach your arms forward. So whatever knee is in front, take that arm. We're going to open out into a twist. That arm is going to reach back. And then with the muscles of your trunk and with that back arm, can you pull yourself into a twist in that direction? So you're working through your core muscles to twist in that direction. Your ribs, chest, shoulders have twisted around. That back arm is reaching back as the front arm is reaching forward. Take a breath and then bring that back arm back forward. Drop your arms, step forward, just sit in a chair here. And then take your other leg and step back into a lunge. Get nice and steady. You can do those little pulses. So you find your really solid alignment here. And then just hold your lunge. Reach your arms forward. So whatever leg's in front, that arm is going to sweep out and back and behind you. You're going to actively twist. Use the strength of your core and that arm reaching back, the other arm's reaching forward to actively pull into a twist. And take a deep breath in and out here. And then that arm from behind can come back forward. You can bring your hands to heart, lean forward, step the back foot in, sit down in your chair, and then push up. Let's reach the arms up and overhead. Big stretch, big breath, and then let your arms float down. Nice work. All right, let's come down to sitting We're gonna sit on our mat with our feet out in front of us. And you can do this holding a weight, or you could do this not holding a weight. You could just have your arms out in front, or you could be holding a weight. We're gonna point the toes. We're gonna root the sitting bones down and try and sit up nice and tall. We'll take a breath in. And as we exhale, I want you to really engage right through your low belly. And we're gonna try and roll ourselves down. Slowly, gradually, incrementally. Release the low back, the mid back, the upper back, the head. We'll reach the arms overhead and take a breath. And then let the arms come up, lift the head, chin to chest, reach the arms forward and try and roll up. Inhale and reach the arms overhead. Exhale, reach the arms forward. Active in the low belly so you can release your low back, your mid back, your upper back, your head. Reach your arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, reach up, lift the head, chin to chest, reach forward, roll up. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, reach forward and roll yourself down. Slowly, gradually, incrementally. Inhale overhead. We'll go up and down one more time. Reach up, chin to chest, reach forward, roll up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach forward and roll down. This time, reach overhead, take a breath. We'll stay down, we'll just bring our arm up, and then we can just set that weight off to the side. Let's slide our feet in, and then lift our feet up off the floor, hugging knees into chest. And maybe swaying a little bit side to side. Great. All right. Release your feet to the floor. Put your feet together and let your knees drop out into a bound angle, butterfly position. Take your arms and again, make them cactus arms out to your side or goalpost arms, right angle arms. So for some people's shoulders, the arms don't get down on the floor and that's okay, just wherever they end up. So you're very open here. Now lift your arms a little bit off the floor and you'll kind of feel the inner edges of the arms and the muscles of the chest work a little bit here. And then we're gonna bring the knees together and we're gonna bring the forearms together so your palms are facing. And then we're just gonna open out again. And we're gonna hover, so don't let your arms come to the floor. We're gonna bring the knees in, bring the arms towards each other. They don't have to come all the way in, or they can if you like. Open your arms out. So bring your arms in and open your arms out. And bring them in, knees come in as well, and everything opens out. So we're just lifting against gravity. It's not that much weight. So, but if we do this over and over again, you might begin to feel the work in the muscles of the chest, in the inner arm, and in the inner leg. Bringing in and opening out. Pressing up and in and opening out. Yeah. So we can be breathing in as we open out, breathing out as we draw everything together. As long as you're breathing, doesn't need to be a real prescribed breath here. So lifting against gravity a few more times. Hugging those knees together, just trying to fire up the inner thighs a little bit here. Let's do 2 more. And then you can just let your arms come back to rest on the floor. You can let your knees drop open if that's comfortable, and take a breath. In and out. Great. So bring your knees up, and then let's, again, lift the knees off the floor and hug them in. Give your knees a hug. Sway maybe a little bit. I always like to sway when I hug my knees in. Coming center, take your knees apart and then lift your feet up toward the ceiling. We're going to do happy baby. So variations would be to grab the back of the knees and pull them out and down. You could grab your ankles and pull your heels over your knees. You can take 2 fingers and grab your big toes and stack your heels over your knees. Or you might grab the outer feet, whatever works for you. You're just bringing the weight of your heels over your knees and letting your knees drop open. And you could just be here kind of swaying like a baby who just found his feet in his crib. Or you might bring one heel in towards your midline and open the other leg out to the side for a nice big stretch as you take a breath. Begin to bring that heel in toward the midline as you breathe out. And you might open the other leg out to the side, pull it out and down and take a breath. And then you could bring that heel back in with your exhale. We might just stack the heels over the knees, or we might start to take them both out wider and pull them out and down. That feels like a nice big stretch that you're up for this morning. Pull and breathe. And then let your heels start to move back in towards your midline. Release your feet and let your feet drop in down to the ground. All right, arms at your side. We're gonna set up for bridge pose. So feet are hip distance and heels fairly close to your bum. Let's think about the back of the low ribs dropping into the floor. Okay, so you're not puffing your chest up. You're kind of letting the back of the low ribs be heavy on the floor. And then start to lift your lower back up off the floor just until you reach your low ribs. Your low ribs are still down, and from there to your tailbone is lifted. Notice how that feels, and then release that lower spine, your lumbar vertebrae, slowly, gradually, until you're down on your sacrum. Let's start the same way. Just lift up your sacrum and your lower vertebrae until you can feel the back of your low ribs on the floor. So it's a very low bridge. And then start to peel your thoracic vertebrae where your ribs attach. Slowly, gradually lifting those up until you bring the weight up onto your shoulders. Maybe lifting your hips up nice and high. Your knees and shins are going forward as your hips are lifting up into the air. Take a breath here. And then slowly, gradually roll your spine down. Take your time to release where each rib attaches in the thoracic spine. And then once your low ribs are down, release your lumbar spine, slowly, gradually, until you feel that solid sacrum releasing into the floor. Take a break, take a breath. And then just like that, again, start to curl up your lumbar spine and then lift up your thoracic spine slowly, gradually, till you bring the weight up onto the shoulders. Once we're here, can you leave one foot right where it is and lift the other knee up? Lift that leg up and then bend that knee and place that foot down. Can you lift your other leg up? Lift it up to the ceiling, bend the knee, and release that foot down. So your feet are still as wide as your hips. That first leg, lift the knee up, lift the leg up, bend the knee, release the foot down. Take the other leg, lift the knee up, lift the leg up, bend the knee, and place that foot down. One more time. See if you can keep your hips nice and high. Lift the knee, lift the leg, bend the knee, release the foot. Last one, lift the knee, lift the leg, bend the knee, release the foot. Nice high bridge, take a breath. And then nice, slow, steady, gradual, incremental, lowering down. Until we're all the way down. Nice work. Let's just hug the right knee into chest. Extend the left leg out straight. Let your left leg be loose and relaxed as you hug your right knee in close. Then we're going to lift that right leg up in the air, hold behind the thigh, press the leg into the hand, press your heel up, pull your toes towards you. Then we're going to stretch the toes up. Now squeeze your toes at the top. So you get a big stretch in the top of the foot. You're squeezing, scrunching your toes. You might be feeling the muscles in the bottom of your footwork. Wiggle that out. Let's imagine we're going to grab a Kleenex out of a box. Grab it with your toes. Can you lift it up and out of the box and pull it towards you? And then wiggle it out. Do that again. Grab onto a Kleenex with your toes and then pull it, lift it up and out of the box, pulling it towards you. Wiggle that out. Bend the knee. Release that foot to the floor. Change legs. Hug your other knee into chest. Extend your other leg out straight. Let that leg be loose and relaxed, the one that's on the ground, as you hug your other knee in close. And then lift that leg up in the air. Hold behind the thigh. Take the leg a little bit away. Push your heel up, pull your toes towards you. Big stretch into the back of the leg, calf and ankle. Then stretch your toes up. And then squeeze or scrunch the toes. Big stretch in the top of the foot. Work the bottom of the foot. And then wiggle it out. And then imagine you're grabbing a Kleenex out of a tall box. You're grabbing that Kleenex and pulling it up and out. And then wiggle it up. Do it again. So we're just working the muscles of the feet, the toes. Reach, grab the Kleenex, lift it up and out, and pull it towards you. And then wiggle it out. Nice work. Bend the knee, release that foot to the floor. So we're gonna start to make our way to our final relaxation. If you have one more movement that you're craving, maybe you would like to end up with a little lying side twist. Maybe there's something else that is calling your body's attention to. You might just take this final few moments to do one more thing that your body might be craving or desiring or wanting. Or you might start to transition into a way to be really comfortable. So that might mean grabbing a pillow to put under your head or a blanket. That might mean, if it's chilly where you are, covering up. That might mean sliding something under your knees for support. So whatever you can offer yourself to make you the most comfortable is what you would like to access now as we start to transition into our final pose. And so this is a transition. We transition from really focusing and paying attention and asking a lot of our bodies to do and minds to engage. And now we transition to the opposite of that. This time of letting go of all instruction, letting go of all need to be in a particular way, doing a particular thing. Transitioning to a place where we allow the body to settle into its own state. The way the body lands when we're not pushing it into a particular position. We want to drop into a state of ease and relaxation. So that doesn't mean you can't shift a little bit to get there, but follow the body rather than the mind directing the body to where it should be. Let the body drop into this place kind of organically or automatically. Because there's great wisdom in these bodies of ours. Our bodies are the most incredible gifts. And they know a lot. And we often kind of force our bodies to do things that maybe aren't the best thing for our bodies. But now we're just giving our body permission to be as it is, so that we can experience a very relaxed state. How does that feel? How does it feel when the legs and arms are just relaxed? How does it feel when we let the area of the belly where all the organs are, we let that whole area just soften, unclench, release and relax. As if the whole area of your belly could just kind of melt, open. There's just ease and relaxation in the whole area of your belly. The hips relax. The weight of the pelvis drops into the floor. And then the whole area of your chest and shoulders and upper back, just softening, opening, releasing. Feel the heaviness of your arms and the relaxation of your palms. And then as the head rests back, just soften and smooth all the muscles of your face. So often we scrunch and furrow, clench and grip our facial muscles. We let all those habits fall away and just smooth out the muscles of the face. Release any holding on, gripping, or clenching. And let the face relax. When our body relaxes, the mind very naturally comes along. Let that happen. And just let yourself be as you are now. This time that we spend on our mats in our practice is an act of self-care and self-love. So be kind and gentle with yourself as you start to make your way back. Or you can stay there longer if you like. We know that the world is hurting right now. So the love that we feel for ourselves, we want to send that love and care out into the world in whatever way that we can today. I'm going to read that same invocation that I read at the beginning. May all beings everywhere find happiness and be free. And may the thoughts, words, and action of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. So with that in mind, I wish you all peace.